Let's see if we can't find the stream. Hopefully it isn't too far away. The channel is currently loading onto the channel as I speak. Hopefully it won't take too long. Hopefully. There it is. Game audio is working. There's the Twitch ads. Those are great to see, aren't they? Becoming a lot more common to see. But everything is working as it should be, which is absolutely fantastic. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 13 of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at the brand new Miami International Autodrome for the Miami Grand Prix. Located around the Hard Rock Stadium in the suburb of Miami Gardens, this hybrid street circuit is the most recent addition to the Formula One schedule. The circuit measures up at 3.36 miles and consists of 19 corners and 3 DRS zones that head into Turn 1, Turn 11 and Turn 17. The circuit design consists of a wide variety of unique sections. The first sector has high-speed bends, S's and sweepers that test the driver's commitment and a car's downforce. The second sector consists of a tight Mickey Mouse section where it's almost impossible to pass cars, and a very long 3/4 mile straightaway in the final sector designed to see who's got the fastest car in a straight line. With a wide variety of sections, a wide variety of car setup could be used. Higher downforce setups will make the car stronger in the first sector and through qualifying, whereas a low downforce setup will turn the car into a bullet train through the flat-out sections, which generally makes it easier, a lot easier, to try and make overtakes during the race. But regardless of what kind of setup the drivers choose, they must utilize its strengths to the fullest so they remain competitive in both qualifying and in the race. Now, as you can see, for qualifying we have wet weather conditions. Full wet conditions from the looks of it. You can see the blue Pirelli tyre on Game Boy's Williams. But it is set to dry later in the session according to the weather report. And weather conditions are set to be nice and dry during the race. So, what will the drivers do for qualifying? Will they use a higher downforce setup, which will generally make the car stronger in this session, and also thanks to the wet weather conditions? Or will they try and tough it out with a dry setup so they have a better race car for when it matters? If I was them, I would be choosing the latter. But before we focus on this qualifying session, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Japan. Quite the chaotic one, I'm sure a lot of you would agree, but astonishingly there wasn't a single incident report that came out of that event. So the final results stand. Barma 22 has been our recently crowned AM1 champion, a 3-time drivers champion as Game Boy exploits the runoff area at 17. He's sitting on 193 points. He is now untouchable, with Vermu in second on 129. Quite a big gap between the top two with 2 rounds to go. Artemello is third on 100 points, followed by Bruno Diaz on 95, Cos Verstappen on 71, then Kitten Petter on 68. Andy Wu, his teammate, is next on 65, followed by Cos Saint on 53, Airborne Tiger on 50, and Burzy rounds out the top 10 on 39 points. In the Constructors, Alfa Romeo are leading the way on 243 points, followed by Red Bull on 180. Now, with only 2 rounds remaining, Red Bull need to outscore Alfa Romeo by 30 points or more here at Miami to keep the championship alive. The likelihood of that happening is quite slim, but it's still mathematically possible, so you can never ever count out the hope that Red Bull might be able to snatch it. I mean, I have seen weirder things happen in the world of Formula One. McLaren are third on 133, followed by AlphaTauri on 124. Then Haas on 104. They are 3 points ahead of Mercedes-Benz on 101. It's a fairly decent gap back to Williams on 64. They have vaulted up quite a few positions from last week's race. Ferrari are next on 56, followed by Alpine on 47. And then Aston Martin at the bottom of the table on 21 points. That's pretty much it in terms of news. Can now focus on this qualifying session. Now, as I said, conditions are set to improve, so I imagine that these guys are only trying to get their eyes in, let the counter tick down towards the end of the session so they can have better conditions to try and set more competitive lap times. Because, yeah, they're definitely not going to be competitive right now. Aaron Carey is exploring the track at the moment. He's blocking a Red Bull who's Vermoo. He's on an out lap, so it's alright. Both drivers are on out laps. But yeah, Aaron's exploring the intermediate tyre, and I don't think it's quite ready yet. You can see here in pit lane, the rain is still coming down quite hard, so it appears to be the full wet tyre for now. But as I said, when the session gets towards its conclusion, it is set to dry out. Or at least the rain is meant to stop. Yeah, pretty good analysis there, Kids and Pether, I'd say. Not good. I would quite agree with you. Conditions look pretty average out there right now, as Bursey jumps to the top with a 43.3. Vermoo making his way through. Oh, it must have been Bursey who was blocked then. Oh, I thought it was Vermoo who was being blocked. No. Bursey was being... I'll get my words out. Bursey was being blocked, so that might be a bit of a no-no from Aaron, who was on a out lap. So, not ideal. Not ideal at all. We're right on board with Vermoo. Give you a guided tour of this 3.3 mile racetrack. Up towards the final corner, turn 19, and onto the main straightaway to begin the flying lap. Up towards turn 1, deep braking zone here, down to second gear for the opening right-hander. Now through the tricky turn 2 and turn 3 complex. The car, it doesn't respond too well when you're trying to plant the accelerator through here. The back end is quite unstable through the section. Now into the S's of turn 4, turn 5, and into the triple left-hander, yes, triple left-hander of turn 6, turn 7, and turn 8. Apparently this is 3 corners according to the official track map. And onto this flat out section, completing the first sector as Mitch Burns jumps to the top with a 42.6. Through turn 9, into the left hand kink of turn 10, and up towards turn 11, one of the better overtaking spots on the circuit. Hard on the brakes brings it down to second gear, clips the apex nicely. Around turn 12, quite a long right-hander. You have to be so patient through this section. Into turn 13, now through the chicane, turns 14 and 15. Now around the critical left-hander of turn 16. It's critical in the sense because how well you go through that left-hander will dictate how much speed you carry down this 3/4 mile long straightaway as he bumps the wall on the right-hand side, not fully paying attention there, Vermoo. Up towards the big braking zone of turn 17. You have to be very committed on the brakes. Very easy to overshoot. You can see from Vermoo, he's well and truly keeping it within the limits. Around turn 18 and around the final corner, turn 19, to cross the line to set a 41.7. I could see as well on that lap, the rain has become considerably lighter. So I reckon we'll be getting pretty close to some intermediate conditions out on track. In fact, Electric Blade is out there as I speak on Ascent of Inters. Well, Kit and Petter, if you do find yourself in the wall and out of the race, you are welcome to join up here. But no, you and Andy have been scoring some decent points as of late. I'm sure you'd like to keep that momentum going. Barmer getting ready, Bursey getting ready. So who will be the first driver to set a flyer? It appears it will be Electric Blade on the intermediate tyre. Bring up the tyre graphic. We've got... Ooh! Blade almost threw it into the wall there on the outside of turn 16. Need to be very careful even on outlaps. Especially around a tight circuit like Miami, where the walls are so close to you. Very easy to clip a wall, damage a front wing, and it ruins the lap. They will head around turn 17, around turn 18, Oh, not quite around turn 18. Lost control of the car at the exit of the hairpin. Had to cut the penultimate corner, but fortunately it didn't invalidate this lap. Around turn 1, second gear. Got to remember as well, these guys aren't using traction control. They aren't using ABS. And you can see there, Blade, what he elected to do in that particular scenario, he lost control of the car at turn 2. And rather than get on the brakes and try and stop the thing from sliding out, he actually gassed it up and did a full 360 and hit the back end of the car against the wall. It's not a bad idea. It's quite a smart idea, really, because these cars are quite difficult to save when you lose them. It's just better if you floor the accelerator, spin the car out, do a full 360, and try and point back in the right direction. Andy Wu making his way out of turn 3 towards the S's now of turns 4, 5, and 6. Fifth gear, modulating the throttle nicely, keeping it in fifth as he goes around the triple left-hander. Down to third gear, he gently applies the accelerator, up to fourth, completing the first sector. Now throughout this flat-out section, through turns 9 and 10 and up towards turn 11. Big braking zone here. What kind of peak speed will we see here? Over 200 miles an hour into turn 11. Incredibly high speed. Through turn 12, yellows are out. I think it's just Kiss and Petter getting out of the way there. Into turns 14 and 15, the tight chicane. See Andy Wu gets through that pretty tidily. Back on to the back straightaway. Up towards the hairpin of turn 17. We see him jump up to the very top. Is it time for the intermediate tyre? Let's find out. Well, Barmer's asserted himself to the top of the table on the intermediate tyre. A 38.5. What can Andy Wu do here? He comes around turn 18, up towards turn 19. It's going to be a 39. No, it's a 40.5. Goes P3 behind Vermouth in P2. Oh, Blade spun again. This time, this is at turn 5. Just before the triple right-hander of 6, 7, and 8. Ketapeta making his way through the opening section. Yet to set a lap time in this session. We only got 6 minutes left, so you don't really want to make a mistake. As Saint jumps to the front row with a 1 minute 38.908. He is 4/10 off Barmer's pole time. No Cap, a name that I haven't said in some time. He's been absent in quite a few races. Has reappeared for this event here at Miami. Up towards the hairpin of turn 17. Down to third gear, down to second. Short shifting up to third. Getting very close with the wall on the exit. Losing control but gathering it up well. Around the final corner, up towards the line. It's a 38.778. It's P2. Demotes Saint down to P3. Cam making his way around the triple right-hander up towards the first sector split. He's yet to set a lap time. Kitten Pezzer has only got 3 more corners to negotiate, but it seems he's bailed on this flying lap. He's not using any battery as Barmer improves massively to a 1 minute 36.679. A humongous improvement. He has got, quite literally, 2 seconds to the next driver. That's a big, big gap. Saint, meanwhile, is up by half a second to the middle sector. He's heading up towards the tight hairpin of turn 17. He's low on fuel. You can see that flashing red fuel icon, so he might duck back into the pits. He might try and complete this lap. What will he do? And he's going back into pit lane, so he's going to put on his final set of intermediate tyres. Go for it one last time. Andy Wu making his way around the triple left-hander up towards the first sector split. Doesn't appear he's using battery, but he has improved to the first sector. Mitch Burns, meanwhile, is up by 2.1 seconds with that sort of improvement. He'll set a 1 minute 40. He needs to try and crack into the 30s, though. Around the hairpin of turn 17, second gear. Does he short shift? No, he carries second for a lot. In fact, no, he's going into the pits. So he's bailing on this lap as well. Aaron Carey, he's got plenty of battery. He's got plenty of fuel in the car. Is he on a push lap? He is on a push lap. Up towards turns 9 and 10. He's currently P12 without a lap time next to his name. Artemello's in a similar situation. He's got 2 more corners to negotiate. Turns 18 and 19. Up towards the line. It's a 38.9. It's P4 for Artemello. A nice lap time, considering the situation he was in. As Kittenpatter has retired, he has crashed out. That is at pit entry. Look at that. I don't think I've seen that before. Bruno Diaz. It appears he's not quite on a flying lap. He's not using any battery. Well, he's going to get blocked by this AlphaTauri, though. Yeah, that's not too good. Who was that? That must have been Saint, because Cam is in the pit lane. So yeah, Bruno, it looks like he's doing a preparation lap, trying to get rid of some of the extra fuel in the car. Elite Game Boy appears to be on a flying lap, I think. Oh, contact and a spin through the chicane. Is that Barmer? It is Barmer involved in that. An Elite Game Boy has just been given a 5 grid place penalty for a collision with Barmer 22. Not great. Not great. No Cap sitting P2. This might be his final run in qualifying. He's got fuel in hand. He doesn't have the flashing red icon on the telemetry, but he doesn't have a great deal of battery. So it seems that he's going to try and save up some on this lap and have another go right at the end of the session. You can see now the rain is really, really light around the racetrack. Saint is getting ready for his final run in this qualifying session. Artemello going slowly, trying to build a gap between himself and the Aston, I guess. I really don't know what he's trying to do. Elite Game Boy now with a 5 grid place penalty next to his name. Has to try and overcome that during the race. Really unfortunate. As he heads through the S section, really chucking it in through turn 4. And now around the triple left-hander. Currently sitting P6 with a 39.4. What can he do to the first sector? The clock says that he is up by 1.5 tenths of a second. Artemello pulling off to the side, letting everyone through. Saint making his way through the first sector, up towards the first sector split. What can he do relative to his personal best? The clock says to the first sector that he is up by a whopping 1 second. He has found a ton of time to the first sector. No Cap getting ready for his final run. Barmer, meanwhile, is up by 7.5 tenths of a second to the middle sector. It appears that the rain has stopped as well. There is no more rain being chucked down on the circuit. Conditions aren't going to get any better during qualifying. You need to set your best lap times right now. DRS, in fact, is now enabled. The track is that dry. DRS is enabled. Barmer crosses the line to set a 35.1. He is 3 seconds in front of the next car, which is No Cap. But No Cap will get DRS. Game Boy jumps to P2. Saint has invalidated his final run. Andy Wu making his way through the first sector on his final flying lap. He has a shot of getting pole position. Bursey is out there on the soft compound tyre. Have a go at this. He's on the softs. Is anyone else on the soft tyre? No. No one else is on the soft tyre. There's a shout that Bursey could get pole position here. Meanwhile, No Cap, he's making his way through the Mickey Mouse section. He's up by 2 seconds, essentially. What about Bursey? He's up by 5 seconds to the middle sector. Ha ha ha! What a brilliant bit of timing from Bursey. He's going to snatch pole position so long as he doesn't invalidate this lap. Around turn 17, only 2 corners remain. Turns 18 and 19. And Bersey is going to go straight to pole position. It's a 32.7. Oh no! No Cap's beating him on the intermediate tyre. Are you kidding me? How did you pull that off? A 32.676. He did it on the inter. Andy Wu jumps to the top with a 32.5. So the inters were still better. Are you kidding? Barmer's now jumped to the top with a 31.0. Wow. How are the inters still good? That shouldn't have been possible. The track was bone dry. Those were perfect conditions for Bersey. How did the inters keep working? That's busted. There is no way the inters should work that well in those sort of conditions. It was bone dry out there. Bersey pulled off a masterstroke, but the game shafted him. There is no possible way the inters were better than the soft tyre in those conditions. No, I'm sorry, that's just wrong. The official results from qualifying: Barmer starts from pole, Electric Blade P2, followed by Andy Wu, No Cap, Bersey, Mitch Burns for Moo, Bruno, Cam Tizzle, Game Boy Saint, Artemello, Aaron Carey, Kitten Petter, and Airborne Tiger will start from the bloody back. How does that work? The track was bone dry. You could see it. Anyone could see it. How were the inters better in those sorts of conditions? That is absolutely crazy to me. They shouldn't have been anywhere near the soft tyres right at the end of qualifying. Oh, that's busted. That is well and truly busted. That should have been Bersey's pole. No question about it. Absolutely no question. And it didn't look like he made a mistake from what I saw. Hey, man, might as well. It seems that the intermediate tyre, it's quite good in the dry, from what we saw in qualifying. They might be a decent race tyre. It might not be a bad idea, Kitten Petter. That is ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous. That was his pole. In real life, that was his pole. That was Jack... Oh, what was that MotoGP race where Jack Miller qualified on a slick set of tyres? It was a long time ago. Wish I could remember the racetrack and the year. No, Jack Miller on a slick tyre, on a dry line, outdid everyone who was on intermediate tyres in a MotoGP Grand Prix. I wish I could remember. Absolutely obliterated everyone and took pole position. And it also meant for the start of that race that everyone in the field except for Jack Miller had to take grid penalties. That I have not seen that before, where the intermediate tyre in drier conditions worked better. F122, folks. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely perfect. Perfect game. Nothing wrong with it. Anyway, start of this race. Let's see who starts on what tyre, eh? Will we see drivers start on the mediums? Will they start on the hard tyre? Anyone gambling for softs? Kitten Petter might start on the inters. They seem to work pretty well. And nice start there from Andy Wu. Gee whiz, he was sideways off the line. Alright, let's have a look at the tyres. Okay, so it's an interesting mix. Barman will start from pole position on the hard compound tyre. Electric Blade will start P2 on the mediums, followed by Andy Wu, No Cap and Bersey. They're all on the hard compound tyre. Mitch Burns is P6 on the mediums. Vermoo is P7 on the hard tyre. Bruno, Cam, Saint, Artemello and Aaron Carey. So P8 down to P12. They're all starting on the mediums. Kitten Petter, Airborne Tiger and Elite Game Boy are starting on the hard tyre. So we got 7 on the hards and 8 on the mediums. So it's almost a 50-50 split. There's a predicted pit stop strategy. Lap, what's that, 16 to 23. I better write that down for my own sanity. I'm just dumbfounded from qualifying. That's wrong. There is no way the Inters should have been that fast. No way. Not in a million years. there was a dry line. There wasn't a bit of moisture on the racetrack. Absolutely ridiculous. What's happened here, Andy Wu and No Cap must have come together through this section and they've disqualified themselves from the formation lap. They might be really unlucky and have cold tyres for the start of this event. Then they're both on the hard tyre. You cannot afford to have cold hards for the start of the race. Otherwise, you're well and truly stranded at the start. Everyone will get by you. You can see everyone weaving quite a bit, especially Barmer. He's using all of the racetrack to try and get temperature into his tyres. Alrighty. Start of this race. Got 15 cars in the field. Well done, Barmer. That's a champion right there. 3-time AM1 Drivers' Champion. Right there. And the Williams is spun in the background. That was Game Boy. Game Boy got really shafted. Thanks to that grid penalty, he is starting from the very back. Poor fella. But everyone's lined up, ready to race. We've got 29 laps in front of us and 10 red lights, and we're underway here in Miami. Great start from Andy Wu, even from the DSQ, from the formation lap. He's got a superb start and shoots through the middle to try and take the lead, but can't make it work. It's Electric Blade who leads through turns 1, 2, and 3. Barmer in second, followed by Andy Wu, then Vermu and Burzy in the other Red Bull. Artemello trying to make it 3 wide into turn 4, but he takes P5. Burzy down to P7 now as he's passed by Bruno Diaz, heading into the triple left-hander of turns 6, 7, and 8. Aaron Carey gets by Burzy. A shocking start from the Red Bull driver. Gets absolutely swamped by those who are on the medium compound tyre. Around turn 9, here comes No Cap. In the Williams, he's trying to find a way by. He's had a shocking start as well, down a fair few positions. He was in 4th place. Oh, spin! It's Vermu spinning out at turn 11. And he's put down to last place. Side-by-side action in front as drivers try to negotiate their way through this Mickey Mouse section. Oh, a big cut there from Saint. Forces Game Boy wide, and he takes the position. Saint is into P12. Blade maintaining the lead, but Barmer's directly behind. Looking to the inside here into turn 17. Blade leaves the door open, but he has better traction on the outside of the hairpin. Still side by side, heading around the final corner to end the first lap. Blade has the inside line heading towards turn 1. Oh, an almost contact between the two cars at the apex, but they get through. Into turn 2, around turn 3. Andy Wu closing in on this battle now. Exiting the long right-hander towards turn 4. Barmer trying to go down the inside into the left-hander. Through turn 5, into turn 6. Barmer has the inside line. He gets the car in front, but Electric Blade on the grippier tyre fights around the long way. Out of turn 8, they're still side by side. Yellow flags are out. It's Airborne Tiger in the Alfa Romeo, running wide and dropping down to 12th place. And now he's going to get caught up in the battle. Oh, they all get through. Andy Wu now getting well and truly involved in this battle. Trying to go around the outside of Barmer at turn 11. Can he shoot down the inside here at turn 12? He's trying. They're side by side on the exit, but Barmer has the advantage. And he takes the lead through the chicane. Up towards turn 16. And onto the long back straightaway. Barmer is your race leader. Then it's 5.5 tenths back to Andy Wu. Then it's half a second back to Electric Blade. No Cap's recovered to 4th. Bruno Diaz in 5th, followed by Aaron Carey and Burzy. Then it's a fairly healthy sized gap back to Kit and Petter in P8. Bit wide there from Andy Wu. He lost a tenth, a couple of tenths actually, to Barmer as Mitch Burns and Airborne Tiger battle. No Cap has had an accident. Oh dear. He is spun at turn 19. He has to let everyone through. And He gets going again. Bruno Diaz now involved in some sort of accident at turn 1. He tumbles down through the order and rejoins in front of Cam Tizzle, who currently has his hands full with Elite Game Boy in the Williams and Vermouth in the Red Bull. Up towards turn 4 now. Vermouth trying to look around the outside here at turn 4. That turns to the inside at turn 5, but it turns to the outside again at turn 6. Now Mitch Burns is closing in. So is Airborne Tiger in the Alfa Romeo. Vermouth looking around the Williams, trying to find a way by. He's got a nice run out of turn 8. He's now trying to draw alongside, but the Williams has got some serious straight line speed as Barmer's overtaken by Andy Wu. Andy Wu with the inside line at turn 12 is able to keep the lead, but he makes a small mistake, bringing Barmer very, very close to the rear end of the McLaren. It certainly looked like a mistake anyway. I think he had a moment coming out of turn 12. Looked a bit sideways from what I could see. Down the 3/4 mile straightaway up towards turn 12. Barmer around the outside on the racing line. Got him before the braking zone. He retakes the lead. Andy Wu not quite in the position to attack back. Electric Blade now well and truly in third place. Bursey behind in fourth now, followed by Aaron Carey. Kitten Petter has now caught the train. We got battling elsewhere. Airborne Tiger and Mitch Burns. Burns trying to fight here down the inside of the final corner. They'll turn into the inside as well at the first turn, but he can't draw alongside. Game Boy, Vermouth battling for position as they go through turn 2 into turn 3. Vermouth has the inside line. He's further ahead as well, but the Williams fights around the long way. That turns to the inside at turn 4. But Game Boy can't fight. He won't fight. He'll let Vermouth go and take P11. Meanwhile, Artemello, he's closing in on Kitten Petter here. DRS open, looking around the long way here at turn 10. And he'll look around the long way at turn 11. He's got the nose in front. And Petter doesn't bother to fight. Lets Artemello through. Round turn 12. Into this Mickey Mouse section through 13, into 14, then 15. See how careful you have to be through here. You have to be very precise with your steering inputs, with your braking inputs, and most critically, with your throttle inputs. You don't want to get too eager on the accelerator through this section. Here comes Aaron Carey. Here comes Artemello as well. Arta looks to the inside. Doesn't commit to the move though. Pulls it up nicely. He's side by side with Aaron Carey. Bursey doesn't get a great run. It's tight through turn 18. Contact through 19 as they head onto the main straightaway towards turn 1. Artemello trying to fight around the long way. Contact at turn 1. Into turn 2 he has the inside line. Aaron can't fight that. Aaron moves down to P6. Artemello to 5th. Now he has the task of trying to pass Bursey. Meanwhile, Vermouth has passed Cam Tizzle, but Cam's trying to fight back down the inside of turn 4. He gets in front, but Vermouth fights round the outside. My goodness, the amount of side-by-side battling has been ridiculous here in Miami. Coming around turn 8. Now into this flat-out section towards turns 9 and 10. Cam's going to be vulnerable. He doesn't have DRS. Speaking of no DRS, Bursey doesn't have any, and through goes Artemello. Where is he? Oh, there he is, going around the long way here at turn 11. Gets in front of the AlphaTauri, and most critically has the inside line for turn 12. Vermeulen asserts his authority and takes P10. Sector 2 yellows. It is Airborne Tiger, I believe. Yes, it is. Facing quite a peculiar position. Gets going again, but he's now a fair ways behind the rest of the field. Here comes Bruno Diaz on Saint. He'll get him quite easily before turn 17. Moves himself into P8. Aaron Carey using his battery around the final corner. DRS open. Here he comes. Where will he look? To the outside here at turn 1. They'll turn to the inside at turn 2. They're side by side, almost contact. They both get through. Bursey has the advantage through turn 3. There's Kitten Petter right behind. Now into turn 4. Through turn 5. Yellow flags are out. It's no cap in the Williams. Spinning. at turn 3. It's pointed back in the right direction, gets going again. Airborne Tiger in the pit lane. Aaron Carey closing in on Bursey. Through turn 9, into turn 10. There's Artemello just in front. Bruno Diaz is on the attack as well. The Mercedes driver looking around the outside of Kittenpetter. Aaron Carey looking around the outside of Bursey into turn 11. He'll turn to the inside of turn 12. He will get in front, and so will Bruno Diaz. Bruno will get in front of Kittenpetter. Petter can't do much about that. Into the chicane, turns 14 and 15. Clobbering over the curbs. Lawson, as Bursey is under attack from Bruno. Contact between the two cars. It certainly looked like Bruno lost control. But he was right up in behind Bursey, that's for sure. And he gets by the Red Bull with absolute ease. I reckon Kittenpetter will get by as well. Bursey, a sitting duck without DRS. Down the inside goes Kittenpetter, and he's through into 7th. No Cap gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Bursey right behind the McLaren of Petter. He's not quite close enough, I feel, to attack into turn 1, but Saint most certainly is. Down the inside of Bursey. Poor Bursey, he's just been a punching bag for everybody. Contact between Petter and Saint. They lock wheels at turn 1, and around goes Petter. He tumbles down to 12th. Saint is down to 11th. Make that 13th now for Kittenpetter. Well and truly shafted from that as No Cap speeds into pit lane and promptly retires from the session. He's had enough. There you go. Bruno Diaz through turn 9 into turn 10. DRS open. He's going to make mincemeat of Aaron Carey here. There's not much that Aaron can do about it. Bruno's into 5th. Aaron down to 6th. Vermoo gets by his teammate. His teammate almost hits him at turn 11. Runs a bit wide. Cameron closes in. Around turn 12. Around turn 13. Towards turns 14 and 15. And truly clobbering over those curbs. And onto the back straightaway heading towards turn 17. Can Aaron fight back? No, definitely not. Nowhere near close enough to try and fight back here. Way, way, way too far behind. Bit of weaving going on. Cameron trying to keep Elite Game Boy and Cos Saint at bay. So they go around the hairpin of turn 17. Artemello is also closing in on Electric Blade. What's happened to Cameron? He spun. The camera didn't show that. That was because he was hidden behind the wall. He spun out of turn 17 and hit the wall on the inside of turn 18. It's going again, but he's now down in 13th position. Cos Saint now has to try and get by Game Boy as they head up towards turn 4. He's 4/10 behind the Williams, who has demonstrated he's got pretty good straight line speed. Artemello's closing in as well on Electric Blade. He'll get some DRS heading around turn 10 and towards turn 11. Can he get by the Ferrari here into the left-hander? He's closing in. Not by enough though. He'll stay behind for now. Oh, but Electric Blade doesn't get a great run. Artemello is well and truly behind as Airborne Tiger has a moment at turn 2. Bruno Diaz is starting to close in the Mercedes-Benz as well. He's looking strong. Yellows are out. It's Aaron Carey in the wall. Oh, careful, careful, careful. My goodness. Be careful. There's Mitch Burns. There's Kittenpetter. Now you don't want to get disqualified here. Well, he does a good job. Hello, Cameron. Oh, gee whiz. See, Aaron's trying to do the best he can do. Cameron either didn't see the yellow flags or there weren't any being displayed. Flew into that section. Got to remember, ghosting's turned off in this. If there's an accident, you treat it like an accident. You slow down, you negotiate it. Unfortunately, I think everyone did a pretty decent job of that. Elite Game Boy under a fair bit of pressure from Saint. As they head through turn 2 into turn 3. Artemello doing a similar thing to Electric Blade here, putting him under pressure. Trying to create a mistake, but Electric Blade is holding firm. Not that it will matter too much now. Artemello should get by relatively easily here. DRS open. Sitting in the slipstream, he pulls out, looking around the outside into turn 11. He has to be very deep on the brakes. He is deep, and he gets himself into third place. Nice move. Can Electric Blade counter? He needs a solid section through here. He can't afford to make a mistake, and he needs to be right on Artemello's gearbox at the exit of turn 16. And I think, yeah, Electric Blade won't be in a position to attack here. He is closing, but I don't think by enough. Don't know why you're not sitting in the slipstream either. You might as well. Might have had a shot here attacking into turn 17, but yeah, didn't bother to try and follow Artemello. Just held the racing line. You might as well try and follow him. Get a little bit of a speed boost. Does help. Game Boy doing a good job keeping Saint at bay. Here comes Aaron Carey on Cam Tizzle. Down the long straightaway towards turn 17. Not quite close enough to attack here, but he's definitely a lot closer than what he was before. Put Cam under a bit of pressure as they go around turn 18 and around turn 19. Here comes Aaron. Down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Looking to the inside here. Doesn't fully commit to the move. Oh, he almost goes into the back of Cameron's car though. Locked up under brakes. The car slid towards the AlphaTauri, but it just about pulled up. Out of turn 8. Saint, he should have a run here. Sector 3 yellows, that is Airborne Tiger. This time at turn 17. He's having a horrible race right now. He needs to keep it together, make sure he doesn't go a lap down. It's a really important thing. Saint, still not quite close enough to attack. Electric Blade, though, doing a really good job keeping up with Artemello, demonstrating the pace that he does have in this Ferrari. The RS Open, not bothering to use. Oh, hello, Mitch Burns gets by Saint. Saint in the wall at the exit of the chicane. Did he and Game Boy come together, or did he make the mistake all by himself? I'm not sure. But he's now down in 11th. He's let Game Boy go. He's now got 3.1 seconds to the car behind, who is Mitch Burns. Electric Blade closing in into turn 1. Not close enough, though, to attack Artemello. But it appears we've got a 3-car fight for third place here. And they're all on the same strategy. They're all on the medium compound tyre. The top two, who are Andy Wu and Barmer, are on the hard tyre. They're set to go on to a set of mediums after the halfway mark in this race. So they're in a really strong position strategically. These guys are all on the same strategy. It's a genuine battle for third between Artemello, Electric Blade and Bruno Diaz. As they head around turn 10 up towards turn 11, Blade closing in bit by bit, but not by enough to attack here into turn 11. Just sits in the slipstream of the Haas in front. Around turn 12, into turn 13, up towards the Mickey Mouse section, turns 14 and 15. Be so careful through here. You can see the drivers having to use every inch of the racetrack. Artemello got very friendly with that outside wall. He got very close to it. Speaking of close, Blade's a little bit closer this time around, and he has demonstrated he's got some serious straight line speed. Closing in, but he brakes early. He doesn't want to attack Artemello just yet. But these guys are not moving at a rapid rate relative to the rest of the field, because Vermeulen is closing. He's now 2.6, 2.7 behind. Give it some time, he might be able to catch up to that 3-car fight. And he's on the hard tyre. He's not on the mediums. So it'll be interesting to see how Vermeulen plays himself into this battle for third. Cam Tizzle has had a moment out of turn 17 for the second time in this race. Oh, and he's... Hello, Cam. He almost put it into the wall. Artemello's still hanging on. Bruno, bit closer this time around. He's not close enough, and he doesn't have the momentum to really send it here at turn 11. He's just stuck in P3. Right on board. Give you a race POV of this battle. It seems now the gap started to even out between this three-car fight and Vermoo. Although Vermoo has gained about half a second through that section. He's gained a fair chunk of time through that section. Again, Blade's close. Just doesn't go for the move. Bruno will be begging Electric Blade to make a move on Artemello. Blade's going in. He pulls the pin early. He's into pit lane. Yellows are out. It's Cam Tizzle. Spinning this time at turn 11. Entry to turn 12. Hard tyres now put onto the Ferrari of Electric Blade. He'll leave the pit lane and he should come out in and around Kit and Petter here, as Saint gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pits. He'll come out behind Kit and Petter in P10. Saint in for a set of hard tyres. On they go and away he leaves. Nice clean stop. No troubles, no changes to the car. Artemello. He'll have Bruno Diaz closing in. Into turn 11. Through turn 12. Now, can Bruno string together a nice section right here? Through this Mickey Mouse chicane. Into turn 16. Oh, Arthur got a pretty nice exit there. Got a very nice exit. Moves to the inside of the racetrack, trying to break the toe. You see how much he gained? 8/10 on Bruno. Now Bruno's starting to claw back thanks to DRS. And will these drivers respond? Oh! Bruno overshoots it a little. Into the pits goes Arthur. Bruno stays out. And into the pits comes Vermoo. He's pitting early. He's on the hard tyre, as you can see. He's coming in early to put on the medium compound tyre. On they go, away he leaves. Artemello, similar story, but he moves from mediums to hards. Game Boy and Burns move through. Where's Arthur? Arthur comes out behind. Oh, that's close with him and Kit and Petter. Yellow flags are out. Was that Bruno Diaz making a mistake? I think it was Bruno making a mistake. And Airborne Tiger made a mistake as well, I believe. But it appeared that Bruno brought out yellow flags through turn 8. So he might have just cost himself a fair chunk of time, especially relative to Artemello and Electric Blade. And you can see for Artemello, that overcut has worked pretty well. Electric Blade is 2 seconds behind him. So yeah, the undercut moving from the medium tyre onto the hard tyre appears to not really work. And now Vermoo has brought himself into a fight with Electric Blade for position on track. Kit and Petter, he is well and truly behind Artemello. Will he try and challenge for position? As someone spun out, I believe it is Cam. Yes, it is. At turn 2, Airborne Tiger gets by. No, sorry, that's Barmer getting by. That's the race leader, so Cam is now a lap down. Game Boy hounding the back of Mitch Burns. Mitch stays out for another lap. Vermoo gets by Electric Blade. That's at turn 17. Vermoo is into 9th place. His next target is Kit and Petter and Artemello. Into turn 1. Or Kit and Petter. He's right on the back of Arthur as they go through turn 2. Oh, a bit of a moment from Petter. He had to straighten the car out at the exit of turn 2. And now Vermoo closes in. Into turn 4. There's Arthur. Through turn 5. Now around the triple left of turn 6, 7 and 8. Oh, Kit and Petter ran too wide. That was a warning and a 3-second time penalty has been dished out. Cam Tizzle has made another mistake through the Mickey Mouse chicane. And here comes Vermoo. A simple overtake on Petter. Petter on old tyres. Can't do much about that. Game Boy still applying pressure to Mitch Burns in front. Andy Wu, he got caught up in Cam Tizzle's spin at the chicane. Have a look at Andy's car. Doesn't appear to have any damage on it, so there wasn't any contact, but he did lose some time to Barmer. Still running out there with those hard tyres, doing a nice long stint. Bruno stays out for another lap as well. Game Boy closing in here. Wow. There goes Vermeulen. That is third place. Provisionally. Once we go through our pit cycles, that is third place. So that early pit stop moving on to the mediums has worked well for Vermeulen. But he does have to realise those tyres are going to be pretty average at the end of the race. So he does need to be a little bit careful. Now he's closing in on Elite Game Boy. The gap is shrinking through every corner. Such is the grip of those fresh tyres. It's got all this confidence and all this speed, and there's not much those in front can do about it. He's within 0.4 of a second of Elite Game Boy. He's going to get by pretty easily. DRS open. Around the outside. Game Boy's got some nice straight line speed in the Williams, but he just doesn't have the grip to fight the Red Bull. Up into 5th place goes Vermeulen. Down to 6th goes Elite Game Boy. And now Artemello is right on the back of the Williams. Arta will have a harder time getting by. He will have DRS, but as we saw, that Williams is fast. It is fast down the straights. Can Artemello get by? Look at the speed of the Haas. He's got some decent straight line speed. You can see the Williams resisting. It's not going to be a simple overtake. Pulls it up nicely. Oh, not quite. Overshoots it a little bit. But at the exit, he gets in front and Game Boy pits in. Andy coming out of the pits. This is going to be tied with Vermeulen. Here we go. Around turn 1. There's Andy Wu. Now he's on considerably fresher tyres, but they are not up to temperature. This is for provisional second for this race. Through turn 4. Into turn 5. Look at him close in. Around the outside at 6. He runs wide. He straightens the car out to avoid contact. Around turn 8, Andy runs wide. And here comes Vermeulen on the exit. Oh, it's tight. It's tight through that little left-hand kink. Through turn 9. DRS open. Around turn 10. Andy covers the inside. Almost contact again. Even with DRS, Vermeulen can't challenge. He tries to shoot round the outside, but Andy covers. Pushes him wide as they go through turn 12. Up towards 13. Into the chicane of 14 and 15. Artemello's now right behind. Barmer's into the pits, the race leader. Around turn 16. Onto the back straightaway. Here comes the Red Bull. Trying to draw alongside the McLaren, but Andy Wu's car's got good straight line speed. DRS open. Vermeulen's out of battery. Here comes Artemello. Down the inside of the McLaren at turn 17. He gets in front. Andy Wu down to 6th. Artemello up to 5th. Vermeulen up to 4th. Around turn 19, up towards turn 1. Andy not close enough to attack the Haas into the opening corner. But he's going to have a lot of pace on those tyres as Burns and Game Boy battle for position. Game Boy gets in front. Burzy overtakes Bruno's made a mistake. He's got a puncture, actually. Look, he's got a puncture. And he has to be so very careful here as Saint retires. Oh, goodness me. Almost contact. Andy Wu will now move through. But a puncture for Bruno Diaz. He could only go so long on those tyres. And he's finally reached the limit. He'll have to come into the pits. He took a gamble to go as long as he could on those tyres. The gamble hasn't worked. Saint has left the session. Cam Tizzle has had some sort of moment. He's destroyed his front wing. That is at turn 3. We have debris in the middle of the racetrack. How do we not have a virtual safety car? Or an actual safety car from that? There's debris all over the racing line. Around the final corner to complete another lap. Barmer 22 in a league of his own out in front. Burzy in P2 yet to stop. He's going to make a pit stop in this race. Vermeulen in 3rd, followed by Artemello. And then we have Andy Wu on those fresh mediums. He's not really closing in on Arta. Needs to do a bit of hard work. Down the inside goes Kitten Petter on Elite Game Boy. Through he goes into P7. Yellows are still out. Bruno's having a really fun time. Barmer spun! Barmer has thrown it into the wall! How on earth has he done that? We have a safety car. Safety car has been deployed. Has his wheel given in? Has his wheel switched off? Is that what happened? He went straight on into the wall. He is now down to third position. He has got a destroyed front wing. He will need to pit to get that fixed. He weaves his wheel in frustration. His wheel must have shut off. He went straight on into the wall. I don't think he was near anyone at the time. He passes Vermoo. Vermoo takes the position back. What on earth happened there at turn 8? We have a full course safety car. A lot of VSC. We have a full-blown safety car out on track. How peculiar. What on earth happened? My only guess is that his wheel shut off. That would be my only guess. Into the pits come the leaders. They're taking the opportunity to pit. Artemello doesn't. Neither does Andy Wu. Andy's got pretty fresh tyres right now, so he doesn't need to pit. And Artemello can quite easily get to the end on those tyres. Set of softs at the ready for Vermoo. He's taking a gamble going with the soft tyre. Bruno has left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin shortly. Electric Blade onto a set of medium tyres. Kitten Petter stays out. Elite Game Boy comes into the pits. Burns comes in as well. Aaron Carey, we got to wait a little while. This is saved Bruno. This safety car, this was the safety car he was waiting for. And it's come. It's finally come. And fortunately for him, he's still on the lead lap. So he should have the opportunity to catch up to the tail of the train. Should. What a peculiar race we're having. There's so much stuff all around to keep an eye out for. We've had all this drama recently. Bruno having a puncture. We have drivers spinning out. And then race leader Barmer throws it into the wall. I do believe that's his wheel failing. I do. That's what I think, anyway. Not 100% certain, but that's what I think. So this is now your new order. Artemello is your race leader. Andy Wu in second. Bursey third. His teammate Vermoo in fourth. Barmer fifth. Electric Blade in sixth. Followed by Kitten Petter. Elite Game Boy. Mitch Burns. Aaron Carey. Airborne Tiger. Bruno Diaz. And Cam Tizzle a few laps down. You'd just be looking to get to the end of the race. What's up? Kitten's in. Bruno has rejoined. Soft tyres at the ready. On they go and away he leaves. What on earth happened to Barmer? Fifth place. How peculiar. Now, I might try and check race director here. We'll see if this works out. Yeah, no, I don't really want to check. It does that. I don't know why it does that, but it does that. Spectator mode. You go into it and it cancels itself out. Got no idea why it does it. I'll try it again. Alright. Incidents. We've had a fair few incidents. Over the course of this. We've had a collision. Kitten Petter. Oh, that was at turn 1. Yes, I remember that. Speeding in the pit lane, pens. Speeding in the pit lane, speeding in the pit lane. So we haven't had any warnings in recent times for collisions. Oh, and look, there was a collision between Cam Tizzle and Andy Wu. So it seems from that incident that I briefly mentioned at the chicane between Cam and Andy Wu, there was actually contact. It didn't look like there was any damage on his car though, but it seems from Cam's spin, he did actually end up hitting Andy. Safety car still out there. I think we'll be doing one more lap. And then the safety car will go back into the pits and we'll go back under green flag racing. And we'll see as well with the tyre situation, we have got two drivers on hard tyres. One's the leader, the other's Cam, and last is a few laps down. He's just trying to survive at this point. Andy's on 5-lap-old mediums. Bursey, Vermoo and Barmer are all on 2-lap-old softs. They're on fresh tyres. Burns goes into the pits as well. Electric Blade is on fresh mediums. Game Boy's on fresh softs. So is Kit and Petter. Aaron's on fresh mediums. Same with Airborne Tiger. Burns has moved on to a set of soft compound tyres. Bruno Diaz comes back in for a set of soft tyres. Hopefully he will be able to catch up to the back of the train at the end of this lap. Hopefully. Okay. We're gonna get one of these endings, are we? This is how it's gonna go down. We're gonna have a straight up sprint race. They'll decide it all here at Miami. Take a quick look at the Discord as well, just to see what's what. Yeah, no, nothing's been said too much. So, yeah, I don't really know what happened to Barmer to bring out the safety car. Don't have any clue. My only guess is that his wheel disconnected. Because that happened to him, I think it was Silverstone qualifying that happened to him. Thought he retired deliberately just to start from the back. He didn't. His wheel actually disconnected. So I think, based off that experience, that's what happened to him here at Miami, I think. Alrighty, so this is it. All of those on the leader lap are bunched up, ready to go. Cam, waiting in the background, probably advise you to get a bag of popcorn and watch the show, because this is going to get interesting between this lot. Got a mix of tyres on these cars. Let's see who gets it right. See Arta being patient, sliding his car even, as he heads around the final corner. We're back under green flag racing here at Miami. It's Artemello who leads, Andy Wu in second, Bursey third, followed by Vermoo. Those guys on the soft tyres will be looking to play aggressive here as they go through turn 2 into turn 3. Yellows are out. It's Airborne Tiger. Oh, dearie me. He's had a shocking race here at Miami. Kit and Petter and Elite Game Boy unable to battle through turn 4. But you see Petter is well and truly on the back of the Williams. Bursey's on the back of Andy Wu as well as they head around turn 8. Yellows are out. It's Cam spinning at turn 5. Gets going again. Backs it into the wall to try and avoid Airborne Tiger. Bursey closing in on Andy Wu. Andy Wu trying to cover the inside line. Bursey looking around the long way. Barmer wants to get involved as well. Down the inside, around the outside looks Bursey. Oh, but Andy Wu covers at turn 12. He keeps P2 for now. Vermoo's all over the back of this, so is Barmer 22 as they clobber over the curbs at turn 15, around turn 16 and onto the back straightaway. Artemello's got 8.5 tenths in hand already, and we saw earlier how much straight line speed he has in the Haas. It seems Andy Woods McLaren's got some pretty good straight line speed as well. Bursey in the slipstream. Vermoo looking down the inside of his teammate here at turn 17. Contact, I believe, between the two Red Bulls as Bursey keeps P3. Vermoo's vulnerable now to Barmer as Electric Blade gets a 3-second time penalty. Side by side down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Barmer has the inside line. He gets the car in front and takes P4. Electric Blade watching behind. Yellow flags are out. It's Airborne Tiger. Around turn 3 we go. Mitch Burns gets by Bruno Diaz, who spins out at turn 1. Out to turn 3. Towards turn 4. Bursey closing in on Andy. Andy trying to close in on Artemello, the race leader. Around the triple left-hander we go. Turns 6, 7 and 8. And onto this flat-out section that begins the second sector. Vermoo sitting in the slipstream, dumping the battery. So is Barmer. Bursey being a bit more conservative with his battery. See Barmer closing in at quite a rate of knots. Bursey covers the inside. Barmer looking round the long way here at turn 11. Defense almost turned into attack there from Bursey. Almost had a look down the inside of Andy Wu as they go around turn 12 into turn 13. Up towards turns 14 and 15. You can see it's all single file through this section. You can't make overtakes through here. You can definitely make overtakes, though, down there straight away towards the hairpin of turn 17. You can see Vermoo is all over the back of Barmer as they head down this long straightaway. Artemello's doing a superb job out in front, trying to hang on those hard compound tyres. Andy Wu closing in bit by bit. So is Bursey, Barmer and Vermoo side by side as they head into the hairpin. Contact, more contact, tons of contact at the hairpin. Oh my goodness me, it's a car park at the hairpin. And through into the race lead goes Andy Wu. Oh my goodness, you gotta feel sorry for Artemello, a completely innocent bystander in all of that. And he gets shafted down to 7th position. Oh my goodness. It appeared the two Red Bulls came together. Andy, I think, hit the back of Artemello as well. That sent him spinning. Oh my goodness me. So Andy Wu's now our new race leader. Bursey in second. Then it's a 2-second gap back to Vermoo, who has Electric Blade right behind. Barmer's been shafted as well. I failed to make mention. He's down to 10th position. He's got a ton of work to do. Here comes Mitch Burns around the outside. He's closing in. Electric Blade overtakes Vermoo. No, Vermoo fights back. Mitch takes 8th. Aaron can't do much about that. Blade is on the back of Vermoo. Kitten Petter's on the back of this now as they head through the Mickey Mouse section, through 14 and 15, towards turn 16. You see Blade, he is shadowing Vermoo. He is right on the back of him. Bursey now has DRS, I believe. Yes, he does. And he's going to be closing in on Andy Wu. Down the long straightaway towards the hairpin. Vermoo under a bit of pressure here as Blade closes in. Does he look to the inside here? No, he doesn't. Blade doesn't go for the move. He stays behind. Backs up the rest of the track. Spin! Into the wall goes Blade. Into the wall at the entry to turn 18. Petter's involved as well. He tumbles down the order. Down to 10th place. He's overtaken by Bruno Diaz. Moves up to 9th. Plenty of drama here at Miami during these final stages of this Grand Prix. Barmer on the attack, closing on Mitch Burns. There might have been a bit of debris I saw in the middle of the racetrack. Looking down the inside here, an audacious manoeuvre from the champion. Through turn 6, towards turn 7. Blade retires from the session. He's had enough for the day. And we have a safety car! We have a safety car! My goodness me! With only 4 laps to go, we have a safety car. Okay. And that was caused due to Blade retiring at turn 1. Now, considering where he ended up, I'm not sure if he did that deliberately. But there's a decent chance he did that deliberately. Another spin to this race. Another twist in the tail of this Miami Grand Prix. With 3.5 laps to go, the game delivers us one final safety car to bunch the field up again and turn this into a total sprint. Oh my goodness. Now this helps Andy Wu a lot. Because it will mean for the final stages of this race, there won't be any DRS available. If Burzy or anyone else behind wants to get by, they have to do it the hard way. Into the pits goes Aaron Carey, Kitten Petter, and Bruno Diaz. They're all in. They're in for fresh tyres. They're towards the back anyway. They've got nothing to lose. You might as well put on a fresh set and give it some. Diaz. Oh, really? What? Excuse me? A 5-second time penalty. What line did he cross? He must have only barely crossed it. I didn't see a thing. Well, doesn't that just rub some extra salt into the wound? That's rubbish. He barely crossed the white line, and it gave him 5 seconds. Gee whiz. Didn't even look like he crossed the white line. Alrighty. So this is it. Safety car's going to go in at the end of this lap. It always comes in at the end of this lap. So it's going to be a 2-lap sprint to the end. And penalties are going to play a decent factor in this now. Game Boy's got 3 seconds, which will hold him back. And there goes the lights on the safety car. Race control brings him in. It's a 2-lap sprint from here to the checkered flag. Andy Wu bunches everyone up. Look at them. It's a car park down the long straightaway. Look at him. He's slowing the field down to a crawl. Airborne Tiger, he needs to get a move on. He might get involved in this if he gets... Well, that doesn't help. Alrighty. Andy Wu takes off. He's caught Burzy napping. A brilliant restart from Andy Wu. Out to the hairpin around turn 18, around turn 19. What a brilliant restart from Andy Wu. As we're back on the green flag racing. 2 laps to go as Airborne Tiger spins out at turn 17. Oh, but Andy's made a mistake at the exit of turn 2. It's cost himself so much time. And Burzy closes in. That brilliance on the restart has been completely ruined because of that mistake. Barmer's overtaken Mitch Burns. He's into P6 now. His next target is Artemello. Around the triple left-hander. Coming out of turn 8. Now into the middle sector. Burzy's in the slipstream. Aaron Carey's overtaken Mitch Burns. That's for P7. Through turn 9. Into turn 10. Burzy well and truly in the slipstream as they head up towards turn 11. Does he look to the inside? Does he look to the outside as they head into the corner? No. He doesn't look anywhere. He stays in behind Andy Wu as they go around turn 12 up towards turn 13. Chucking it through. Clobbering over the curb. Running wide goes Andy. Contact! Almost into the wall goes Burzy. Andy Wu almost forced him into the wall there. Down the long straightaway towards the hairpin of turn 17. Well and truly planted in the slipstream. Heading towards the hairpin. Burzy, can he send it in here? Could he try to send it in? Oh, not quite close enough. As they go out of 17, towards turn 18, up towards turn 19, the final corner. It's now the beginning of the final lap. Lap 29 of 29 here at Miami. Into turn 1. Burzy not quite close enough to attack here. Through turn 2 into turn 3. Vermouth's close. Elite Game Boy. He's got Artemello and Barmer for company as they head out of the long right-hander. Towards the S's now. Burzy's on the attack. He's closing in corner by corner as they head around the triple left-hander of turn 6, turn 7 and turn 8. Artemello down the inside of Game Boy. It's tight at the exit of turn 8. Game Boy can't quite hang on though. Artemello, he's got superb traction. Out of turn 8. Barmer trying to find a way by. Looking around the long way here at turn 10. Burzy's closing in. Looking round the long way here at turn 11. Sends it in. They're side by side. Andy Wu shuts the door though at turn 12 and keeps the lead. Aaron Carey gets by Game Boy. Down the inside at 13. Are you kidding me? Andy makes a mistake and through goes Burzy into the race lead in a section where you cannot pass. Down the long straightaway towards the hairpin, Bursey moves to the left, then he moves to the right, trying to break the slipstream. In qualifying, I said he was robbed of pole position. As he heads down to the hairpin for the final time, his teammate attacks the McLaren into 17. He gives Bursey the opportunity to take the win, and he's most certainly going to take it. Bursey will win the Miami Grand Prix. Andy Wu in second. Vermu will finish third. Oh my goodness me. Artemello in fourth, followed by Barmer 22. Carey in sixth, followed by Mitch Burns, Kitten Petter, Elite Game Boy, and Bruno Diaz will end up finishing in the top 10. He will score 1 point. Oh, giddy on. That'll be, oh, who got fastest lap? Out of curiosity, Vermu got it. Oh, we got more storylines to talk about. 15 plus 1. That is 41 points for Red Bull. Now, Barber, if I recall, finished in 6th. So that'll be 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8. Red Bull outscore Alfa Romeo by 33 points. Red Bull keep the championship alive heading into the final round. Are you kidding me? Ha ha ha. What can I say? What a conclusion to a race. Bursey, your race winner here in Miami. Andy Wu in second. Vermu in third. A double podium finish for Red Bull. The unofficial results of the Miami Grand Prix. Bursey is your race winner by 0.7 of a second to Andy Wu, with Vermu completing the podium places, making it a 1-3 for Red Bull Racing. Artemello finishes in 4th, Barmer in 5th, Aaron Carey in P6, followed by Mitch Burns in 7th, Kitten Petter in 8th, Game Boy 9th, and Bruno Diaz rounds out the top 10. Airborne Tiger finished 11th, followed by Cam Tizzle, then our retirements Electric Blade, Saint, and No Cap. 15 drivers started, 12 finished, and my God, we had an ending and a half. That was well and truly insane. And with the 1-3 result from Red Bull today, they keep the Constructors' Championship fight alive heading into the final round. They outscored... Oh, hang on. No, he finished 5th. Hang on. Oh, I think they only just kept it alive. So 5th is actually 10 points. They outscored by 31. They needed to score 30. They needed to score 30 points or more to keep the championship fight alive. They scored 31 more than Alfa Romeo. It's not quite over for the Constructors' Championship. It's not quite over. Very close to over. Thanks, Dream. Thanks, Kitten Petter. That was an ending. That was a beginning as well. We had so much to talk about over the course of that race. That was nuts. The whole thing was nuts. All of it. Just... From qualifying, we had drama and controversy. At the very beginning of the race, everyone was battling side by side with each other for like 5 laps. There was no chill at the beginning of the race. Everyone was giving each other a hard time. The middle of the race, it all mellowed out as you normally expect. When you're in the middle of a pit stop cycle, everybody spreads out. But you get these interesting narratives in terms of Tyre strategy, the move with the undercut, making that work. And then, the moment that changed the race, Barber hitting the wall at turn 8, breaking his front wing, meant the safety car was deployed. It completely changed the scope of the race. Everyone bunched up. Everyone had a chance to win. Anyone who was on the lead lap had a shot. And then, with a few to go, Blade ended up retiring at turn 1, and it brought out one final safety car, which turned the race into a 2-lap sprint. And Andy Wu got the restart he needed. He did it brilliantly, but made 2 mistakes. A mistake at turn 2 with 2 laps to go, and the mistake that did him over. A mistake through that Mickey Mouse section on the final lap, which gave Bursey the opportunity to win this race. And he took it with both hands, and he did. And with the 1-3 finish, as I mentioned before, the Constructors' Championship ain't over. Favourites are definitely Alfa Romeo, but it is not over. Not over. Mathematically, it is still on. But there we are. The end of what has been a dramatic, crazy race here at Miami. A nice debut for Miami in the AM1 Championship. Maybe we'll see it next season. Who knows? But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream. An interesting one it has been. I've been Lane Evergame. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 14, the final round of the AM1 Championship at the iconic Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a way to end the season. It's going to be fantastic. But until then, it's goodbye.